Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. After a couple of gray, gloomy days, I thought I'd get down to the park and do a video. And an observation sitting down here, humans are just loud, messy animals. I cannot wait to get to the mountain. I'm hoping I can get to the mountain, my buddy gets me all, takes me around, I get all provisioned up, and I want like 5-6 days of just solitude. I don't want to interact, I just want to be alone. Because it's nice, you know, I'm not shy. Obviously, you can probably tell from the camera I'm not shy, but I get distracted and I don't like stuff around me when I'm doing my videos. And it's just going to be nice to have a setting where I can just sit and chill and do my videos, think, and not have to be looking around and seeing where people are coming from. Just me, I'm a little bit weird. Anyhow, I thought for a weekend video, I was thinking about something this morning, and I looked up a couple of videos and was thinking about the past, probably being in the house I'm in right now. My father was a pilot in World War II, flew for the Air Force. He was a hump pilot, so he transported planes over, and the hump was over, I forget, it was China, Burma, India. There was a kind of a triangle there, but anyhow, so he spent a good bit of time in India, and I just remember as a kid him telling me these stories about the Jains. And you know, I was always kind of in, ooh, well, that's very strange, because, you know, he had always told me, if you're not familiar with the Jains, I'm going to link a couple of videos down here below that's just kind of a quick, you know, summary of some of their beliefs. And I was just interested in the stuff as how it relates to veganism and our thoughts on veganism. Interesting, it's one of the four religions. Now, I don't remember all the facts. Like I say, watch these two little clips. They're not long. It's one of the four religions of India. There's Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and I think Jainism is the fourth. There's about 6 million worldwide. But one of their biggest principles, and this was what kind of like, that's what kind of got me into the second video too, is Ahimsa. Ahimsa is basically one of the foundations of their beliefs. And it kind of made me think, it's like, I'll be quite honest, and Ahimsa's pretty straightforward to me, do no harm, but there's so much rationalization and explaining and trying to say, well, it can mean this, and interpretation. Man is an animal that loves to rationalize and justify things they do in their life. You know, before I came to this lifestyle, this kind of goes back to, you know, me talking about, like, it's kind of on the ethical side of that video the other day. I was talking about how I could not unknow things. Well, I like to think about me before I came to this path. And yeah, I had my problems, and I was a bit of a screw up. I was a loser. I was a drunk. I had a lot of negatives in my life. But I always remember, you know, if somebody had talked to me about veganism, it's always the people that are just like, they kind of go out of their way, you know, to mock, make fun, belittle, put down anything like that. You know, whether it's veganism, they have the jokes. You know, there's always the bacon jokes. There's all these things. But, you know, when you really get into it, and some of these people, I find them huge hypocrites, because even if they're not vegan, I'm not saying every non-vegan, and I'm not going to get into all the whole thing back and forth with the vegans, but to me, there's a difference in the people that maliciously, you know, when you're talking about it, kind of try to throw that whole in your face with the, well, eating bacon, you know, when you're trying to talk about a baby pig or whatever. You know, I don't get all weepy like the other people, and that's probably things I need to work on in myself, in my own ahimsa, in my own walk, is everybody else gets all weepy and they want to throw things out there. I probably get a little mean, because all I do is visualize. I visualize the day when they want to make all their little funnies about bacon and kind of poke at other people that are trying to live a life of nonviolence, ahimsa, living in harmony with others. I just picture them on that day when all that bacon finally catches up in that heart. There's that elephant sitting on the chest. And then they're probably not so smug on that day, I doubt. But anyhow, the Jains. The Jains are a very, you know, I didn't really realize, I just knew from what my father had told me. Now, some of what people consider extremism is they go to some pretty extreme measures to ensure that they don't take any sort of life. They take the whole thing, all sentient life, very seriously. They generally walk around with masks on their face so as not to even possibly inhale an insect. They carry little brooms, and they sweep their paths, you know, so they don't step on something. in the very end, and this is kind of interesting really out there, is that Jains towards the end a lot of times fast or starve themselves to death so as not to be intrusive towards the end. I didn't quite get exactly that. You'll see it in one of these two video clips. And some even some don't even like roots. They won't even eat root vegetables. Some live naked because they don't even believe in using fibers. Now, the point for me is not to get to a point of like trying to say, hey, we should all be Jains or you should agree with every one of these, but ahimsa, nonviolence. Ahimsa and nonviolence to me just it means something, and I can't throw a different interpretation in there other than what it is. You know, it's like if we're going to put our own spin and our own interpretation on everything, I know that's kind of popular in this world. You know, we're all like, well, it's all up to you. Well, some things are not. There's got to be some concrete principles out there. And ahimsa, basically in its most simple form, is do no harm. So anyhow, just thought this would be something, you know, especially for the people that are ethical vegans and you know, that came to this lifestyle for that reason, or the people that consider themselves ethical vegans now. I just thought it might be something interesting that you might want to really see a next level mentality of a people that really believe, I guess what I would say is the core of what vegans are supposed to believe, but they really live it in their everyday life. And you know, like I say, it's just something interesting. I've always been very open and interested in studying different cultures my whole life. Even as a kid, you know, I didn't quite grow up, I didn't quite have the same mentality of South Alabama, even as growing up. I was curious, my mind was open, I explored, I read a lot, I was always interested in these things, and I was open to different cultures and different people. And I do feel like, you know, it's just helped me my whole life. You know, no matter I went through bad periods, I went through others, but I've always been kind of open, had an open mind, open to different cultures, open to different ideas. And I think in the end, if we're always, you know, if we're open to things and just open to things and see with clear eyes, the world would be a much better place. Okay, I won't go on. I'll be rambling after this. But anyhow, I just hope you guys find this interesting. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoy these two little video clips. Please watch them. They're very interesting and they're very short. And I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I love you guys. Peace.